Hi, Andrew Bell here, coming to you after an incredibly wonderful Easter period here on the Gold Coast. Following on from what was really a sensational, strong summer month on the Gold Coast, Easter was the most active that any of us that have lived here for any length of time on the Gold Coast can remember. Official figures aren't out yet, but the double long weekend brought massive crowds and the weather was nothing short of perfect. No surprise that there was a very strong buying activity over that period of time, not just in the number of sales, but some really substantial sale prices being recorded. Our office, in fact, wrote a number of sales over 6 million and several others, substantial sales, slightly below this figure. There is no question that the top end of the Gold Coast property market is really coming to life, and very quickly. Now, there's been a lot of talk in recent weeks about the strength of the Chinese activity. We're somewhat surprised that many real estate agents have only just awoken to the fact that the Chinese are not only active in Australia, but very active on the Gold Coast. We've been building our marketing activities in China for well over 5 years and now have a permanent office in Beijing as well as one in Singapore. And we have a series of networks right throughout China, feeding buyers through to us on a weekly basis. We travel right throughout Asia approximately 15 times a year, and as a result, over the past 12 months, we've notched up 202 sales to the Asian marketplace. Now, I'm going to cover a lot more on the Asian market in upcoming e-news reports, but in the meantime, there is no question that the Asian buyers, and especially the Chinese, are a strong component of the Gold Coast property market and growing weekly in strength. However, today, our focus is on yet another component of the annual property report, and that is consumer confidence. Consumer confidence comes about from the marriage of the 5 fundamentals that we have addressed over the last 5 e-newsletters. The marriage of GDP, interest rates, population growth, unemployment and housing affordability. That all come together and drive the level of confidence that real estate buyers have in our real estate market. As I mentioned previously, any one or two of these will be more predominant than others at any point in time. And there's no question that rising population growth is a sleeper, whilst interest rates and employment are the 2 factors that are dominant in driving confidence at present. On the screen now is a graph that is based on the Westpac Melbourne Institute Consumer Sentiment Survey, showing how consumer sentiment and sales volumes work in tandem, with the red line being consumer sentiment and the black line being sales volumes. You can see how they pretty much correlate over time. And what's on the screen now is the latest consumer sentiment index to the period of time, the 31st of March, with the thin red line representing the consumer sentiment index and the thicker red line being the 6 months rolling average. What you can see is that consumer confidence is constantly moving around. And this is why I've always said that consumer confidence has a very immediate knee-jerk reaction to any negative news and a slower reaction to positive news. You can see how consumer confidence has been rising since early 2012, which of course coincided with improving sales volumes around most parts of Australia and improving house prices. However, there was a downturn in consumer confidence in the first few months of this year, and that was largely off the back of fears around unemployment. In fact, confidence fell 9.6% since November, and with the constant media reports of substantial job losses at Holden, Qantas and other places of employment, there's no surprise in the fall. Now, with March and April producing surprising results on the upside for unemployment and a raft of economic news that was better than expected, there was no surprise that there has been an upswing in sales. And whilst the latest consumer confidence survey shows only a slight upswing in confidence, it will take just a little longer for the greater confidence to show up in graphs. So expect to see some continuing bouncing around of consumer confidence, but ultimately experienced and wise real estate buyers know that the market follows cycles and know that the market is driven by fundamentals, and that those fundamentals will continue to drive our real estate market on the upside for the foreseeable future. For those who own real estate, all the latest activity will put a smile on your face, and for those who keep missing out on buying properties because their offers are always too low and are always missing out to buyers paying high prices, it's time to catch up or get used to it, as we're going to continue to see the price rises and you missing out if you don't make the proper offers. Well, we've run out of time for this week, and I look forward to seeing you in a fortnight's time, where we're going to have a closer look at real estate prices and what's happening on that front. Until then, all the very best as we rapidly march to the middle of 2014. Regards for now.